Morning, everybody. Andy here again. Like the attire, it's attire because it's Jack in the Green going on. I mentioned it yesterday actually, and it's going on today because it's all these things that have changed. I mean, the celebrations usually go over at the whole weekend, start like on the Friday, and on May Day itself they have the dancing at dawn up on the hill by the castle in Hastings, which they did this year. And obviously, this doesn't always happen. The actual festivities don't actually happen on the 1st. But this year, because they moved the bank holiday from tomorrow, I think it's May the 4th, May the 4th be with you and all that sort of stuff, get that in early. They moved the bank holiday from the May Day, the Monday, to next Friday for the VE Day celebrations, and obviously they've all been cancelled. So they moved everything from the Monday, rearranged everything from the whole Jack in the Green celebrations to the Sunday, and of course now they've been wiped out as well. And as I said yesterday, they're doing a virtual Jack in the Green. I watched a bit of it earlier. They've just released the Jack himself, which is a long one. I think I'll put the link. Maybe I'll put a link to their website down below so you can get some idea of what it's all about in normal times and even what they're trying to create today. And it's great seeing them. They're doing Morris dancing on Zoom, all in people's bedrooms or in their patios, in their backyards, their gardens and all that, and all the little screens. Very good. And very, once again, I was talking about the other day, the technological side of things, how you can see that they're still making up a little bit as they're going along in the nicest possible way. So respect to them for getting that up there. Right, the figures, sorry. Get to the important stuff. The deaths yesterday reported 621, which takes the total now to 28,131. And I did look, we're very, very close to the Italian figures. So I think it was Spain had a slight little spike yesterday. I know that they started relaxing their lockdown laws. I mean, that's far too soon for that to have had an effect, I think. But we're going to have to keep. They're all going to have to keep tabs on this. No daily album yesterday, and probably won't be for the foreseeable future because Hastings Rock Radio's on. So been listening to that obviously quite a lot. But a busy day yesterday. Baking bread, cutting hair, putting up blinds in the kitchen, and and we had the big family quiz last night, which we've been doing. Like the Zoom thing, we don't actually use Zoom, but it doesn't matter. And sort of doing that with Julie's family, which is great fun. It's become an almost like a tradition now over the last 4 or 5 weeks, however many it is. But I want to talk about today because this is actually the 40th video that I've done, 40 days in a row, and that's quite something, isn't it? And it made me think. Well, apart from the fact it's a long time, the longest I've ever stretched of videos that I've ever done, and as I've mentioned before, there's no way I ever thought I'd be making this amount of videos in a row. But it keeps going. We'll see how this goes. It's been going all right so far, I think. But interesting fact actually, which ties up with this quite nicely. Last year we were in Venice. And there's an island there, and at sort of the edge of the lagoon, which was used as like a fortress. And I think it might have been used as a leper colony, but it's like the entrance to the port, where you come into St Mark's Square and all that sort of area. So it's where all the ships and everything came in, and of the merchant ships that used to come in, which is obviously what the fortune that Venice was built on, where a lot of the money came from. But the Black Death came along, in the sort of 1400s. And they used to use like a quarantine type idea in other places before that, and they used to sort of keep people for 30 days. I think they used this in other areas, in other outbreaks of the plague or the Black Death. But at this particular time, I think it's in the mid 1400s, the Venetians decided that they were going to stop all of the traffic, if you want to call it that, the ships, any sort of ships, any people who wanted to come into Venice itself would have to be held on this island. For a period of 40 days. Now, 40 days in the Venetian language, or very close to the Italian. I have to read this down. It's quarantena, which is very close to quarantine, which is where that comes from, where the word quarantine comes from, the fact that they used to hold these ships or the people for 40 days on this island in the Venetian lagoon there. So, and that's very close to the Spanish as well. So the quarantina, that's where that comes from. There you go, full of useless information. And I was thinking about that because that's pretty much what we're doing here, isn't it? We are being quarantined. We're being locked down. We're having people effectively quarantined if they're coming into different countries or they're on cruise ships or something. You have to self-isolate for a certain period. That's exactly what they were doing back in those particular times, and we sort of brought it on. And it's to say, I mentioned history the other day. This history, it does keep repeating itself. So here we are, 40 days later. Now I would be able to come out of quarantine, but we don't know where we are now, do we? I mean, I could be doing this for another 40 days, who knows? So that's the thought for today. So a little bit of useless information as to where the word quarantine comes from, and we use it so much now for everything, whether it's dogs coming into the country or anything you particularly think of. And they used to call it Trentino or something before for the 30 days, and then Quarantina, whatever, for the Venetians bought that too, as they bought you so much other things. Anyway, I'm going to go back, listen to the radio and watch the Jack in the Green, I think, and enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend, and so stay safe, stay strong, stay at home, and I'll speak to you tomorrow, hopefully. 41 days.